All right. So
Okay.
uh, we have seen what is derived, data conversion, merge join, conditional split. So we'll start with what is a lookup transformation. Normally, when we talk about lookup transformation, it is widely used to basically do the to make sure your source and your destination gets the same values, like when you want to do, or when you work with reconciliation projects which needs to do with incremental load, right? So what you do is you use lookup, or you use SCD, which is slowly changing dimension. Okay, so now what happens when you do lookup is you're actually checking it from source to destination, which values you want to compare on based on what business key. For an example, I have a flat file, or I have some different SQL table. I want to load it in a different server. Let's say from staging environment to from staging to production, or from OLTP to OLAP data server. So when I am loading it, I would like to check whether the data which I already have, which is coming as a source, if I already have it in the destination. If yes, then what should I do? I should not duplicate the record, right? Because record should not be duplicated in any by any mean, until and unless you have a historical mindset towards that particular data. So generically speaking, what happens is once you see that data is not available according to, let's say there were 10 customers today, and into the same file there are more 10 customers added tomorrow. So today when there were 10 customers, I have loaded into my destination, and tomorrow new 10 customers have added it to the same flat file, and I want to load it into the destination. Will I load all 20 again?
No.
No, because I don't want to duplicate the records.
Right.
But what I can check with those existing
Ah.
customers is what is a changing attribute to it, right? So we defined
Right.
something called changing attribute. Let's say for an instance, salary of a customer, address of a customer, right? Or department of a customer. So anything changing, then you need to override the destination. Then you can update those changes in the destination, right? If record is already existing. If record is not there, then what we should do?
Then we should insert that.
We should insert, because that's a new record. So let's see that,
Right.
how to do it. Lookup transformation. Okay, let's go in and let me configure one source. I would not take this, rather I'll go with direct flat file. I have a flat file. You already know that the location of the flat file. This is my existing file. I have these many columns to it, right? Let me preview it. You see there are few columns here, few rows, right, with certain columns. So I have customer key, full name, gender, and yearly income. So what I'm doing is I'm loading this information into my data warehousing system. Okay, so let's say I wanted to load it in OLEDB destination. And do you have the table already? If yes, you can point to that particular table. I think we have one table here called customer underscore B36, which we have created last time. If I'm not wrong, let me just check it in the drop down list if it exists. Customer underscore, think 37. Okay, yeah, so same I have. And last time I've used these three columns. So this time if you want, you can use it, or if you don't want, you can leave it. So how to fill those columns, you already know how to fill these columns.
These two, user and package.
Yeah, how do we fill it?
Uh, in go into input column and where the ignore is reflecting from there.
No, that's fine, but I don't have any source values to pass in into the
Mm-hmm.
destination. These are my destination columns, right? And
Right.
these are my source columns. I unfortunately don't have
Mm-hmm.
anything to pass in into the.
Copy column.
No, copy column will just copy one of the column from here. Right? There's some issue here. You see that there's a Unicode non-Unicode conversion. So in order to deal with all of these
Mm-hmm.
scenarios, we have seen what a master transformation, which is
Right. Derived column.
derived column, right? So in this derived column, what I want to configure, first thing I need to convert it. Which one I need to convert? First name. It says first name cannot be converted, right? So it's a Unicode. I want to convert it to a non-Unicode because if I have it as a Unicode, my migration won't happen. It is throwing an issue. So in order to do that, what I'll do is I'll go with which function? Typecast function
Type.
and dt underscore str and this length. What's the length? Any length, right? Let's say 30 characters
Mm.
or 20 characters. What's the code page by default? 1252. That's
Right.
the default.
One. Mm.
Now if you see, it got converted to string, right? So what's the second thing? We need to add get date. What will this return? Me today's date.
Uh, Today's date.
So I need to rename it as load date because
Load date.
in my destination I have a column as load date. If you don't have it as a load date, then you need to map it manually in the destination column, right? For an instance, let's say this is a derived column. So this is actually the first name. Okay, so you can just first name since underscore cast. Since I have casted this just for the identification sake that this does not conflict with the first name which is coming from the source, I'm just renaming it as underscore cast.
Okay.
And what's next? User, right? User, who is the user? So which, from where you can get that? From system variables.
System variable.
So who is the user? Is the username from your system defined variable. So here it is. And what else was there? Package name, right? So you
Right.
can get that package name. Okay. All right. So there we go with all of our different columns from derived. If you double click, come into mapping, right? Now first name is not mapped, right? Automatically because the name is different. Mapping it
Right.
load date to load date. Sometimes it maps, sometimes it won't. Package name to package. We have mapped it, click OK. Still you see errors. Non-Unicode, Unicode. First name. Again the same error.
Right.
Let me check why it should not be the same error now. String. Oh, so why it was throwing an error earlier. Let me just check. Oh, my bad. So this was already a Unicode. This is a Unicode and this was a string, right? So
Mm.
we did the opposite. So let me just do this, undo it. It's a Unicode, right? Why it
Right.
is taking non-Unicode, I don't know. But let me just map this now because I don't need to do the, what I don't need to do? Typecast because it came as a Unicode. Now let's click OK and check again. Now you see that it is in gender, right? Gender in the destination. Let's see what it is in destination. Gender here is Unicode, here is string.
It's
And
string.
I've showed you a couple of ways to do it, right? So what's the other way of doing?
Mm.
Going to where? Right click,
Right click,
show advanced
show
editing,
advanced
input output,
input
and output columns, gender, and it's coming as a string
data type.
from the source. You will have to change it to a uniform. Click OK. Now it went off. Right? So we have a derived,
Right,
but our intent is not yet met. Let's go back, point to that particular database. Star from underscore 37. If you execute it, we have something here. What I want to do is I want to truncate it first. Truncate table. Now from this you need to identify which column is the changing attribute. That means which column you want to update if changes are found. Getting it?
right.
So in this, customer key won't change because it's a primary key. Name won't
Right,
change of a customer. Gender, nowadays it's changing, but mostly it won't change. So we'll keep it as fixed. Salary will change, right? So I'm targeting salary
right,
to be my changing attribute and everything else to be my fixed attributes. Now for an example, you can also consider gender to be a changing attribute, just to make sure you see multiple, multiple updates happening there. So let me right now execute the truncate statement. I don't have anything right now. So let me configure the lookup. Lookup, let's get that. Okay, so I've taken it. Now inside lookup, what it is telling you is to, how do you want to handle no match entries? What do you mean by no match entries?
which is falling into one table but not into the other table.
So what you need to do to that?
That is basically join.
No. If there are, see, there are records which are not available in destination. That's nothing but no
Mm.
match, right?
Yes, yes, correct.
So what you want to do? You want to insert it, right?
Insert that,
You
right.
don't want to fail the component. So what I'll do is, I'll say, okay, redirect rows to no match output. That means what I'm telling is, give me an output saying no match, so that I can insert it.
Oh,
Now come into connections and give your what? Destination table,
table,
right? So which is your destination table?
customer underscore B37.
B37. What is the business key based on which you want to check the condition, right?
Look,
Based on what you will check it?
cu- customer key.
Customer key, because you cannot check it based on first name, because first names can be repeated,
Right,
multiple first names.
right.
You always need to take a what?
Unique.
Unique one. If you click OK, it got configured. How many values now lookup will give? How many outputs?
Two, two.
One.
One is match, second is non-match.
No match. So when it is a match,
Yes, ma'am.
when it is a no match, what I want to do?
If that is not matching, so we will insert into the database.
Into the destination. So I'm
Yes,
configuring my
yes.
destination with no match output.
No match.
I've configured my destination. Okay. Now if it is matching, then you want to update. So in order to write the update command, you cannot use the same OLEDB destination. What you need to use?
Well,
Command transformation. So let's go ahead and give it to this match output. So if it is a match, how do you define it? In the query, how do you write the update statement normally? Let's say update
up table name.
customer table set, which
Mm.
are you treating as your uh, changing attribute?
Salary.
Salary
Self.
is equal to, do you know how much salary will come tomorrow for that employee?
Mm, no.
So take it as a parameter. So here these parameters can be filled from the input of the source.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm taking it as a question mark. Now this will treat this as a parameter, and what we can do is whatever data flow we are getting from the top as a column called salary, updated one, we can map that to parameter. So what it will do, that value will be passed to this parameter, hence your update statement will get triggered. And to which customer? Do you know which customer it will change?
Where hmm, customer key
You don't know, right? For
equals
which
to question
customer?
mark, question
For which
question mark.
customer the salary will change? Even that we don't know. For
Right.
now, let me also make a change here just to make it more, you know, just to add more values to show you how configure of parameter can be done. I'm also treating gender as a changing attribute, let's say. So what do you do?
Gender equals to question mark.
Gender is equal to question mark, right? So let's copy this. Now after C, what I just did is cancel it. I've just clicked on command. I first need to configure the connection manager where your destination table is. My destination table is in localhost, which is my server name dot adventure. So this is my configuration connection manager. Now come into column properties. Come down. There is something called SQL command. If you come into column mapping, right now there are no parameters, so you won't see any parameters available here. So if you go into
Okay.
component properties, come down, click on this little ellipsis over here for SQL command
Hmm.
and give your query.
Okay.
So what it is trying to do, it's trying to update, but based on customer key and what's the salary and the gender. It's going to update salary and gender. So what is the first parameter here? Salary.
First parameter, yes, salary.
First question mark in the execution is salary, then gender, then customer.
Salary.
So that is what you have to bind from the source. This is
Okay.
parameter number 0, this is parameter number 1, and this is 2. So first parameter is what?
Gender.
Salary, right? Salary, then gender, then.
Yes. Salary then gender.
But it is coming as a yearly income, right? So yearly
Right.
income, comma what?
Gender.
Okay. If I do this, gender, and then
Customer key.
customer key. So do you understand this? So practically what happens
Yes.
whenever changes happens, it will come through this only, right? Source only. So it will pass to the parameter.
Right.
Parameter will take it here and it will execute. So right now what we did, we have configured a lookup transformation, which will go ahead and check whether data is there or not, and it will try to update or what insert. So if I
It
run this, what will happen?
the records which are non-matching, so that will be inserted into the OLEDB destination.
Right now all records will get inserted because
Yes.
there's no
There is no records in the
record in the table.
table.
Okay. Now let's go back. If I run it now, everything will move into left hand side flow.
Right.
Right? Though you see this getting
Yes.
executed, it has no records.
Right.
18,484 records are all there in insert. So you will get 18,484 records available in the desktop. Now let's play with
Correct.
some changes in the source system. This is my customer data
Mhm.
with all of the records. Let me change the customer value of salary of this guy from 80,000 to 100,000. Right? For 104,
Yeah.
just remember last two numbers. 04 I have changed it to 10,000, and for 07 I have changed it to female.
Okay.
And I'm adding a new value 110101 as, let me just name it as new and f comma 100,000. Okay. So how many changes did I do?
3.
Three. Two on updates and one on insert. Right?
Yes.
So
Right.
insert is this new, and changes were made to 7 and 4, right? 7 gender was male,
Yes.
I
Right.
changed it to female. 4 was 80, I changed it to 100. Let's go back. I've saved
Right.
it. If I run this, how many records should flow here?
Uh, Here should be a 2,
And here?
1.
So by default, it will override everything if it matches.
Okay.
So now matching how many records it will get? 18,484. So it will override everything.
Right.
Along with that, those two records will also get overridden. So what is happening internally? Some sort of what?
Override.
Okay. Some
Okay.
sort of overwork is happening because records are not necessarily that you need to update it, right? So
Mhm.
from all of
Right.
the 18,000, I just have 2 records. So imagine of 1 million records,
Mm-hmm.
right? See, this is not a idle thing to go with things that still you don't have those things, and you are going to go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and update everything, right? And if you don't find any updates also, it will update it because it is matching. That's it, right?
Okay.
So sometimes it is not permissible to go with lookup, and hence it can be done using SAD.
Okay.
Okay, so this issue is not there in SAD. So if I run this, as I've told you, 18,484 records will get here, and one, but a destination will be changed. Okay, destination definitely will get the result. That's not an issue. Let's see. So what is happening?
It is checking all the records, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Through the OLEDB command.
Right. So what it's doing is it's actually going ahead and checking all of the records, and it's taking some time. Ideally, it should not take this much of time, but not sure why it's taking that. Let's see if I have my customers data open. No, it won't take this much of time. Maybe do we have enabled what do you say, identity constraint on it? If you have constraint, it's going to be a nightmare. Okay, so constraints, no identity. Okay, okay, nothing is there. Still, it's taking some time. Maybe because of some data mismatch. It will fail if that's the case.
Okay.
Data type mismatch fonts, it will fail. You want to know where exactly we stand? You can go to progress tab. Check what's
Correct.
happening with the query. It's trying to start it. Let's see if it is completed. Not yet. cache. You see that it is in the cache processing.
Mm.
Execution phase is beginning. Started, ended. OLEDP destination is done. Let's check if we get any. 4. Do you see that got changed?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And 7 got
Seven is all. Seven
changed,
is all.
right? And do we have a new record here? You should,
Mm,
ideally, right? It will come into
it
ending.
should be.
New. So let me just, right? Do you see this?
Yes, yes.
So that's what our transformation. Not sure why it's still showing a processing. It got completed actually. Let me stop it. Okay. So that's what a lookup is. But it won't happen to you. Don't worry. Maybe because of my system, I've not restarted it. I need a
Okay.
restart. So this is what a lookup does. Drawback of lookup is
It's basically check all the records into the table.
all the records, right, into the table. That's the drawback. So in order to accomplish this, what you can do,
See,
overcome
we
the
can use the
drawback. We can use what? SCD,
clustered.
slowly changing dimensions. All of these are columns, and come here
Mm,
and drag and drop SCD. Okay.
okay.
Now whatever we did manually, it will automatically do our job. We just have to configure which is the changing attribute.
Okay.
Okay, so it will give us the whole flow. So let's do that. So it will only accept SQL in the destination because it does not have connections. I'm not sure. Let me just check. If I say new, let me check if I can do a Excel here. Think so. No, only SQL related activities.
Okay.
No Excel related or anything as such. So I was right. I mean, this is a that one. What do you say? Microsoft certification questions. So which one? Table? Which table it is? It is which table?
Customer P30.
Customer underscore B37. Okay. And now it's asking you to give me a business key. What do you mean by business key? Based on which lookup can be
Business
done.
key. Okay.
Okay, kind of a surrogate key in the destination. So
Okay.
you will have to make any of this as a surrogate key or a business key. So which one do you make as a business key here?
Customer key.
Correct, right? Customer key will be a business key. Now you will see the next. Why you see these are empty here when these are values?
Because
Hmm?
that is not into the source table.
Source. Right, it's not into the source, but we have salary as yearly income. Correct.
Yes.
If
Right.
I run this, do you think this will definitely help us? Because casting time, it will throw an issue, right?
Right.
So let's do this first. Let's right click show into advanced editor. First change both of them to Unicode, customer name and gender, so that we don't face those issues, right?
Right.
Let's go back one more time. Do next. Select the table. Give the business key. And then give the salary. And click on next. Now here is where you will tell whether it is a historic or changing attributes. right? Or fixed attributes. When you say fixed, it's not going to change. When you say fixed, it's not going to make a change on top of it. So I'll make it this as change and this as change. That means changes could be found in this. Both of the
Okay.
columns. Which
What is
sorry?
historical attribute?
Yeah, that's a type 2. I'll talk about it once we complete.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, so fixed is first name. Why we didn't got customer key here?
Because we have made as a business key.
So making it as a business key means that's a fixed attribute. Getting it?
Yes,
That's particular to a one customer,
yes.
so it's not going to change. So next, so let me enable this and check. Infrared, what is that? Failed transformations if changes are detected in fixed attribute. That means if first name changes, do you want to fail the component? You can uncheck or check whatever you want.
Okay,
Infrared member means that's a different topic altogether, so I'm skipping it and finish. Right? So what did it do? It do this.
okay,
It does the same thing. So new match and changing attribute. That means this is a matching. Sorry, this is a no match output of lookup, and this is a
mm.
match. If you see the command, this is the same command what we have used.
Okay, great.
So it have automatically
Mm.
created it, and it have automatically mapped the what mapping. But the only difference between lookup and this is it can also configure type the 2, which lookup can't for sure, and it will help you improve the performance over lookup.
Okay.
So it will only look at those two different things. Right now, if I run, what will happen?
So in the insert destination, no records will be moved because there is also a records into the existing table.
Mm,
And in the OLEDB command, so all changing attributes should be updated into that. But
but there are no changes, so no records will be loaded here. Right. So let me
okay,
run this and let me pause this one. Yeah. Let me run now. You won't see any record flowing anywhere because there are no fonts. Right. There are no fonts.
mm,
Let's pause this. I need to restart my machine. That's fine. But let me go you directly and show the
okay,
things. I'm changing it here. For first guy, I'm changing it to 100,000. Okay. And for second guy, I'm
okay,
changing it to female.
okay,
Thirdly, I'm adding one another guy introducing new 01
mm,
f comma f comma 120 or 100. Okay, first three things will be
okay.
first two things are update, and third line is of what
New records.
your record. If I run this, not sure why it is taking time. But what it will do ideally is it will just go ahead and update the one which requires the update, and it will insert the one which requires the insert. It works same as your lookup.
Look up.
Right? The only difference it's a wizard, and let me check if it got affected. I'm not sure because those things didn't got executed. Yeah, it's not reflected yet. It's running, but it will definitely
Mm.
go ahead and update the changes and insert the values. Any questions here? It will
Okay.
just see it is doing it now, right? Two records only got here. You see it, and only
Right.
one record got here. And let's go back and run it. You see that it got changed to
Yes.
100,000, and this got changed to female.
Email.
Maybe there's a new record
Yes.
with maybe a new
Yes.
one. No, this was the old record. So there's
Old one.
new 01 something like that. So where do we have it? I'm not sure. Might be somewhere here itself. How do you find it if you want to find? Where?
It will be because the number of rows is showing as 18486.
Correct. Where? I'll just make sure I have it.
First
Like new
new.
percentile. Can be anything
Yes.
after this. So that's why I'm using it.
Wild card.
Wow. What's happening to my SQL today? So you see it, right? This record which we
Yes.
got
Inside.
inside.
Yes.
So see that got successful. Right? So next
Uh,
one is SCD type 2. So do you want me to continue now or you want to leave?
uh, we can just keep till here today for today.
हम्म,
So थोड़ा सा वो लोग भी कल देख कर एक बार थोड़ा सा रिवाइज कर लेंगे. So उनका भी थोड़ा सा हैम्पर लेंगे.
चलो ठीक है. Okay, no worries. So we'll meet tomorrow with, because SCD type is 2 is again a lengthy topic also. So I thought of giving a pause. So let's see
Okay,
tomorrow
sure. No.
and we'll go from there. I'll share the recording on the same folder.
Okay, sure.
All right, Anup. Thanks for joining.
Thank
Yep.
thank you.
Bye bye.